Nicky Hawkins outside the Etihad. I know I'm not on camera, but you can see me behind the camera. I'm rocking. With Big Dave. Dave, it was an hard thing to watch today. It was, I think that was really sort of hammered home how bad it actually was.
I think we've got to take the only positive that we can from that, which is the hard run of fixtures is over, and we're approaching five very winnable games on paper. But today we was just outclassed. They went 1-0 up inside 5 minutes. They turned energy saving mode on. Once they went 2-0 up, they got the deck chairs out at 3-0. It was as easy as they could want it to be, and we offered nothing going forwards. The midfield had energy. They tried hard, but they were outclassed. I mean, look, take that one away. City were fantastic. Dare I say it, I think Man City are the club we need to model ourselves on. I don't know if this is too well known, but I've heard, and I know we're taking a good faith that City's under 21 players are training with their first team every single day, and as a result, Pep's able to fill his bench with academy players. He's able to bring them through. We at the moment, we've got the one thing that big clubs don't have, which is Deb Woods. You look at our squad right now. The first thing we've got to do, as soon as we can, is get rid of the, I'm going to call them the sold as seen buyer collects. Get rid of Igor Julio on loan, get rid of Fulkrug, get rid of Ward-Prowse, get rid of Rodriguez, get rid of Irving, get rid of Mavropanos. None of these players offer anything. None of these players going forward give us anything. And then we need to start looking at the players that we will accept offers for, because we need to find a way to fund the business we need. So Paquetá's we've got to look at offers. Kilman, anything comes our way. Dare I say Somerville as well. Bless him as much as he tries. We got him out of the Championship. He's had 2 years, his second season now, that he's partly affected by injury, partly affected by form, but there's no end product there. We need an upgrade. We need threat in that positions that he can't bring. Probably one or two others as well, to be honest.
I want to just say as well, it was so bad that they give us the chances, and the lack of quality in the forward positions was so evident today. It was, we had 3 or 4 great chances and we couldn't score.
Yeah. I think Bowen hit a couple wides.
Somerville hit one.
Somerville hit one. Fair play, the shot on target, the goalkeeper. But the difference there was so obvious. Obviously, because they bring through, like I was saying, right? They bring through their academy players. They've got academy players on the bench. They don't waste money. None of their wages are being wasted. I'm sure there'll be a City fan in the comments that will tell me that, I don't know, maybe they don't like Matheus Nunes, or maybe there's a player there that they'd shift on and given a chance, but they don't waste it. How much on the 6 players I mentioned? I suspect we're picking up the tab for Julio's wages. Ward-Prowse, Rodriguez, Irving, Fulkrug. That's hundreds of thousands of pounds a week we're wasting. They're not.
The fees is not much better, is it? The transfer fees are just as fucking bad.
The transfer fees are, yeah. I mean, what did we spend on that lot?
27 million on Fulkrug to 50 million for Haaland.
Yeah,
Think about
exactly. What was it, 30 million? Oh, he's been fair to Ward-Prowse. I thought the first season he'd done all right, but we're not very good, are we, at moving players on? And we're in that cycle, and this is, I was saying this something before the game, we're in this cycle now where we're going to keep signing players that are in their late 20s and their early 30s, and then they've got no resale value, but because they're kind of solid pros and they're maybe as good as they'll be, we're stuck in this side. That's what we're going to keep signing. Yeah. That's what the January transfer window is going to bring: loans and frees, and maybe a striker from somewhere. We'll sign another Danny Ings type. But you look at it and you think, like, this is going to get a lot worse.
Say this right before we finish up. Next 4 games is do or die. Lose any of these 4 games, we're out.
Agree. I mean, you look at it on paper, I'd go 5. I would include Spurs in that, because Spurs at the Tottenham Stadium are a poor. They're there to be got at. They're there to be got at home. You look at that 5. I would argue that if we get anything less than 10 points in the next 5, we're in a real uphill battle. And right now, you know, I think for the rest of the evening we're all Palace fans, aren't we? Because we really need them to go and do us a favour at Leeds and stop Leeds getting too far ahead, because we don't want to get in a situation when we're needing snookers. We need to keep ourselves in the race and as close to that chasing pack as we can. And this is it. Yeah, it's do or die. You're absolutely spot on. It's do or die. This is a time where, you know, I've been saying for the last few weeks they're good enough. You know, they're not good enough. They try hard. Now they've got to start finding another gear and finding another level to go to get themselves, or to get us, you know, close to that. Because relegation is disastrous. It doesn't bear thinking about, you know, let alone what. We'll end up on that merry-go-round, that Norwich-Fulham cycle for a little bit if we're lucky. And if we're not lucky, we're going to end up in that, you know, what Sunderland went through of 8 years of out the league and League One. Leeds, Forest, I've said this before, a lot of bigger clubs than us have gone down. Clubs as big as us, as bigger than us, have gone down to League One, spent 3-4 years there, struggled. You know, and if we go down there, all right, you know, it's probably what Sullivan deserves. But, you know, for us, it'd be horrendous. As fans, it'd be horrendous, especially with the Sky Sports broadcasting the Football League now. You know, away games would be a nightmare. There'd be so many 12:30s. You can imagine what the bowl would be like, half empty every week, sparsely populated. You know, there'll still be the smattering of tourists. You know, a large number of the hardcore we know have walked away, and that would only get worse. This is the wrong time of year to be having this conversation. It's Christmas. Yeah. Let's try and find some positives. Christmas cheer. Yeah, Merry Christmas, and thank you everyone who watches my fan cams every week. I hope you all have a lovely day full of food, and hopefully, you know, in a couple of weeks' time, up Fulham, Brighton and Wolves, we'll have some optimism. We'll have something to cheer. We'll have something to look forward to, and maybe Palace will give us something tonight to send us into Christmas with a smile on our face.
Cheers, mate.
Thank you. Cheers.